Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world. Thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about altcoin season. Is that incoming? When we might see that? What are the signs to look for? And a whole bunch more. Smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and it does, of course, help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments that you are so kind to leave in the comment section there. Thank you for that. And so let's jump into the altcoin chart, altcoin season chart here. And as you can see, whenever we bottom out, it tends to be a pretty good opportunity. When we get down to 25 there, it tends to be a good opportunity to be in altcoins. That's called Bitcoin season. And then when we get up here, we don't stay up here for long. Altcoin season is not very long, or doesn't stay at the top. This is when altcoin season peaks. And this is where you want to be getting out of altcoins, okay? Around December, when you see across this line. And this would be the time to get out of altcoins by, as we start to come down, December, January, and then definitely by January. But of course, sometimes you can see it come down and then go up. And I think that's what a lot of people were expecting to happen. I think that's where it caught a lot of people off guard, that we just continued to capitulate to the downside there in this area, that we didn't go up as normal and have that February, March pump. But I did say that it felt a lot like April of 2021, where we had a capitulation event. Altcoins lost 60%, Bitcoin lost about 50%, or just a little bit over. And we went down for 2 months, just like we went down for 2 months from January to March. And then there was sideways down, kind of sideways choppy down period for a month. And then we took off again around July. And then we finished the move in November with a short little dip in September. Okay, and so something like that could play out here. So this has generally been a good place. Now, does that mean that I'm looking to buy and hold altcoins? No, I wouldn't be looking to buy and hold altcoins, but I will share with you what I'm doing at the moment. Now, before we do that, let's look at total 3, of course, which is fairly bullish. We're above the 20 EMA on the daily, and we're above the 200-day moving average, but we're stuck with the 200 EMA on the daily above. Okay, and we do want to break above that. We don't want to see a death cross for altcoins. We haven't seen that yet. The 50-day moving average is the crucial area that we need to get above for continuation of this bull run. This is the same with Bitcoin. We need to get above the 50-day moving average. That's your bull run continuation line in the sand there. Of course, for total 2, this includes Ethereum. I'm sorry. We would need to get above the 50-day moving average there, but they're already a bit of a bear market there for when you add Ethereum in. That's how poorly Ethereum has performed in this bull market for so far. But maybe we'll get some news today. We do have the Trump administration saying that there will be a big announcement today. We're going to wait and see what that announcement is and what coins this announcement does favor. So keep an eye out for that. That's scheduled to be at 10:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, Bitcoin dominance, of course, as we shared yesterday, does have some bearish divergence. We had in the RSI, we're having lower highs, and we had higher highs here. So there, we should see that play out, and we are starting to see that play out, just as I shared yesterday. We'd want to see the 50-day moving average lost to the downside for alt season to start to kick in. So we need to lose this line. You can see where we've lost it in the past. It's been good for altcoins down here around that December and January time. That's the line in the sand. That's what we need to lose. When we see that get lost, that's big, and we're not far away from it here. We're not far away. 61.2% that's at, and we're at 61.5%. Lose 61.18%, and that's going to kick into a little bit of an alt season. However long that will run for is however long we are below the 50-day moving average. You can see how that played out over here. How long did we end up below that? To the downside there, we saw a full weekly open and close candle below alt season. 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, technically 4, 5, 6 weeks. It only really lasted for 6 weeks there, okay? It only really lasted for 6 weeks, and you can see it doesn't last for long. However, you know, a good amount of money can be made over that period of time. So a 4 to 6 week time period, whenever we've got to see that full open and close below. And of course, by the time we get there, that's just confirmation of what's already happened there. And of course, we do have this rising wedge, which tends to be quite bearish, and so breaking down from there, where we lose the 50-day moving average from there as well for Bitcoin dominance. Okay, so how am I playing this? I'm going to share how I'm playing this. I'll give you a coin, Sui, for example. I shared this play in the Tribal Trades Discord, and I believe it was at $2.25. Okay, so get an entry there, because I'm not looking to hold these long term. So this is more of a swing play. Now, of course, we are doing short-term trading, scalps off the 5 and the 15-minute time frame, the hour time frame. For those of you who are in the Discord, you're learning and learned how to do that. Some of you are still in the process. Those who want to learn how to make money, leverage trading both to the upside and the downside, because we have been in a down move now for a number of months. And you could have made money to the downside and can still make money to the downside. Even today, we're having a little bit of a pullback. We popped up to 87 and we're already back to about 84. You could have made money on that move. You could even do 1x leverage there. And so if you want to learn how to trade leverage responsibly, how to make money on the way down, as well as on the way up trading leverage, you can do that. We do leverage classes in the Tribal Trades Discord. We have a leverage lounge fully just for all the leverage traders to interact, engage, learn from each other, find support from one another there as well. And the Tribal Trades Discord, the information is below in the description of this video. You might need to click the more button. That will pop out, and there'll be an email address there. Just email me there for your interest to get access. It is closed Discord, but I'm opening it for you. If you send me an email there, you can get exclusive access to that. And of course, I'm in the Stocks with Josh Discord also in there, and we do some leverage classes in there as well. Keep an eye on that if you're in the Stocks with Josh Discord, when the next leverage training class will be in there. But I share educations. I have my Uncrowned Traders channel in there. That's open at the moment. You can just, again, in the description of this video, there are some links to sign up there. And I share education, insights, some resources, some of my trade setups. Of course, we do some leverage trading classes in there. And of course, entertainment, because I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? And you can be entertained making money on the way up and on the way down. And of course, in the Tribal Trades Discord, we do live trading sessions with me every single week where you can interact. We do this via Zoom. You don't have to. You can be anonymous in Zoom. You don't have to share your face or any of your personal details in there, but you can talk with me in there. You can interact, you can chat and ask questions. We do live trading in there. It's a very interactive learning experience. We do that every single week in the Tribal Trades Discord. And of course, we were trading Sui in the Tribal Trades Discord yesterday. And so we had the entry there at 225. And we saw that it found some resistance, but it broke through. You see there's no resistance. We had resistance. And this was where we were trading up, making money, and then shorting it on the way down and making money. It goes up, we make money. We short it on the way down, we make money. And we're just trying to make trading easy again for people to be able to turn their own personal money printer on, and at the click of a button, open up their phone. No matter what the market is, whether it's going down or whether it's going up or sideways, you can make money in this market, okay? And so what we have here, so my play with this, so normally with a hold bag, I would buy the hold bag, and I would hold it for a long period of the bull run. Now, we don't know how much longer this bull run has to go. I do feel we are in the final stages, and at best, we finish off in November of this year, which does seem some time away, but some have it finishing a lot earlier in May or June or August or September. Okay, and so how I would play this here, or how I am playing this right now, is the entry at 225, and then I look to, if we find resistance here, if we can't break through here, this is where I could close the trade and take my profits and look to reopen it if it comes back here at 238 or at $2.25, for example, or even lower at one of these levels here with stop losses, okay? So that a couple of things are going to happen. Number one, we're either going to bust through the 20 EMA on the daily time frame there, sitting at about $2.50. We also have some Fibonacci levels above at $2.56. And if we do that, I stay in the trade. Now, I've had swing trades that have stayed open for 3 or 4 months. Okay, I opened a SUI swing trade. I had a HODL bag that I bought much earlier, but I had a swing trade that I got in when SUI was around $1, and I rode that all the way up to around that $4 level about 4 or 5 months later before I completely closed that trade. And I also closed my hold trade as well, and I've shared about this in the Discord and on here on YouTube. And so what happens there now, what happens if you say, well, what if you get out here? What if it rejects here and you get out and then it keeps going? Great, I'll jump back in. There's nothing wrong with selling here at $2.50 and then jumping in again at $2.55 and then selling at $2.90. I'll make that 40-cent move right there, or however many percent that is, 20% move up to there. Let's actually use measure. I can jump in there at $2.55 and right up and make a good 15%, because I assume we're going to find some resistance there. Remember, if we want some bull market continuation, we need to get above this 50-day moving average. That's a 15% move to the upside. So I can make another 15%. Okay, but what I don't want to do is it gets stopped here and then come all the way back down and I lose all my profits. So I want to stop out in profit. So I want to set a stop loss here. So if I'm sleeping or whatever I'm doing, that if it drops down, that I'm stopped out in profit. So for example, on here, as we can see, we found some resistance at $2.49 right there on the button, and then we're coming down, and currently we're retesting the 50 EMA on the weekly at 245, and we're just a touch 1 cent under that. So if we were to really start to lose that and go below, that was where I would stop out in profit, and then I would look to get back in there at $2.38, as long as that finds a support. I'm not going to jump in if it just melts straight through it, if it finds there as support. What if it comes down halfway? What if it comes down halfway, it doesn't get there, and you can't get back in? Great, I'll get back in. If it breaks above the 50 EMA in the weekly, I switch to the 5 or the 15-minute chart, and then I look to get back in on a successful retest of this level here, and then I can ride it up. That's how you swing trade, and that's a lot different than just buying a coin here and looking to hold it. Let's just say that SUI does go to $10 or $15 and just holding it all the way up. Now, at what point would I jump in and have a longer-term hold? On a break above the 50-day moving average there at $2.96, and that's going to be the same with every coin. That's going to be the same with Potenza Tau as well. I'd be looking at the same thing. When would I look for a longer hold? Once we get above the 50-day moving average, which is at $338. Otherwise, I'm just doing the same things. Why? Because we're still in a downtrend. We still have lower highs and lower lows. And so until that changes, and of course, once we flip this, we will have higher highs and higher lows. We can just trade these swings here. We buy here at $234 and we sell at $265, and then we buy back at $234, sell at $265, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, and you can just make money to the upside and the downside. Of course, you can learn how to make money to the downside by joining the Tribal Trades Discord. We provide full support and training for that. Okay, people who've never made money to the downside before are making money to the downside. You're missing out on opportunities if you can only trade in an up market. The market goes up and down there. Okay, so what I'm looking for is the 50-day moving average. This would be the same with Solana. If we come across to Solana, where am I thinking of putting in a more of a longer term buy there at $165 above the 50-day moving average? That is the key for bull market being back on for these altcoins there. And this will be the same across the board for Ondo as well. If we look at Ondo, we are looking to get above the 50-day moving average, which is currently at $1.12. Now, you may want to front run it, and you can kind of do a bit of a front run, because imagine if Ondo now here, again, taking profit at 88, getting back in at 81. and then you can short it from 88 down to 81. You get back into 80, and then you ride it up and you take profit 88. Now, if we break above 88, you can get back in the trade. Now, imagine this just keeps pushing and doesn't really stop and just goes up. The swing can actually at some point turn into a longer term hold because it gets the 50-day moving average, and then it just keeps going, and your swing trade kind of morphs or evolves more into a longer term hold, a longer term trade there. And you might end up holding that swing for a number of months to the upside, as I caught it beautifully in September, the Sui breakout at $1, and I was able to ride that swing all the way up for many, many months there. All right, that's all we have time for today. And of course, as always, until the next episode or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.